Hey guys, Dutchy here bringing you some more Stormgate action. Here we've got a game between Kiim and NyoriE. We've got Kiim here in the bottom left-ish of Sector 9, and we've got NyoriE in the top right-ish of Sector 9. Do you practice Cell? I think they're just chatting a little bit, seeing, hey, do you play Cell? Let's see what NyoriE does here. Looking like a fast expand of production would have been placed by now, and we see the effigies, so looking like a fast expand. We've got Kiim over here, also looking like a fast expand, probably a 10 move arc ship. Yeah, standard manner macro play. Is that off by 1 hexen? Oh, it is, isn't it? Ah, that stuff's so annoying. That happens to me every now and then, and I'm like, because you can't cancel it. But man, for those of you that don't know, you wanted one tile down. See how it's slightly not a straight line? And this was easily just an accident. I do it all the time. But the rallies are a little slower. They go back and forth slower, so it's slightly less efficient. Sorry, I was checking something. Okay, so they haven't... I don't know what they're talking about. Okay, so 12... Waiting for the node power here for that. This thing's gonna finish before the power on this almost. Right? What is going on here? How is that not triggering this? I have no idea. I'm so confused. Okay. Anyway. Looking like a third base coming. Fragile to me. I don't know what. I am not paying enough attention to their chat. Forgive me. Okay, so we've got 2 vaults here, looking like a very Luminite focus, very light on the Therium. Probably going to be a what's it called? A Hellforge soon. So it's probably going to be Brute with charge. You know, Fiends got their movement speed back when you split the Brute, and so now they're the flavor of the month again. Big surprise. There was some talk of making them only have that movement speed on Shroud, but always giving it to them. I kind of like it, because Infernal does have the tier 3 Shroud thing, so they can use it at one point just globally. And the only bad thing about it is that it kind of incentivizes defensive play. But I do think it's a little silly when you can pop Fiends and run them across the map at this ridiculous speed here, because it lasts a decent while, right? Let's see. It lasts for 10 seconds, and they've got... increased movement speed. I was too slow, but they're very fast. I like that they get the movement speed. I just can be a little ridiculous, I feel. Okay, we've got just poking around. 3 Argents, easily going to deflect that, just scouting Fiends anyway. Getting some information, seeing, okay, he went 2 base, I saw 2 arc ships. He doesn't know about this 3rd base unless for some reason that was like showing off the edge. He says lol. Does that mean he saw it? He did see it. Weird, it showed it to him. I don't know why it would, but for some reason I had a feeling it did, right? It's close to the edge. Maybe it shows the warping animation. Kind of odd though. Okay, what do we got? Ritual Chamber. We got Brute Charge on the way, Ritual Chamber on the way. The 2 Fiends going down here to the little 5 Argent squad. Kiim holding on to the energy. See how he's not using the energy on this? He's waiting for in case Fiends jump him. He's gonna want that energy to fight back then. Excuse me. 2 Conclaves just finished. Ritual Chamber finishes, so... Soul Branch Chakrams is on the way, and Infernal Fury. I'm just going to call it Brute Charge and Curse upgrade. That's ridiculous. We've got the Argents running over back home. It's got the Shadow Marks. We're going to use it to boost some production. Probably going to use it right yonder. Something got canceled. Relocating it and rebuilding it. That's pretty cool. Taking advantage of that to get as many buildings in this Shadow Mark zone as possible. So that's pretty cool. Just taking advantage of the celestial function. Let's see that morph core go down though. Come on. Use it, because that was the whole deal, right? anyway. Excuse me. There we go. He used it. Perfect. One fiend here, one fiend here. So he knows his opponent's on 3 base, and he knows NyoriE knows he's on 4 base. So that's what those fiends are there to do, is to check on that situation. So NyoriE probably feeling pretty good, but you also got to say to yourself, okay, my opponent's still on 3 base. What does he have? What has he been spending his money on if it's not a 4th base? And in this case, it was a Squadron of Argents. He's got the Kree rollout that just finished. I've been hearing a lot of chatter about Kree. And Kree are funny, right? Sometimes they're great, and sometimes they're awful. They're one of those units that, in certain situations, they're like the greatest unit ever. And in some situations, you're like, this unit sucks. And I think things like Hexen Mines make the unit feel terrible, right? And so, in that way, it feels bad. But, like, run-bys and a group of Gaunts and stuff like that, Kree are like the most amazing unit. So I don't know, I guess it's just a unit kind of like Glass Cannon that has a lot of hard counters. It can do a lot, but it can also get denied. So we got some Cabal here. I have seen Kim liking the Cabal more. Cabal got a small change in this patch. Their debilitate used to be 15 energy, that is now 25 energy. It just felt like they always had, like, your entire army would get hit by debilitate, and then it would just happen again. And yeah, you could split and stuff, but it was like, even if you split your squadrons, those squadrons would get hit with debilitate. There was just so much debilitate. And it makes sense to go 25. Almost every spell in the game is 25. I think the one exception is the medtech healing, right? Like the regular heal that they do on bio. I think that's got a very low, I don't know the number, but it's a low energy requirement. Okay, so those were building the proxy tribute pyres. I guess he was using it to block bases, but it's also good just to have it for when you make a push, then you can use permanent effigies. So I think all infernals should do this. If there's a Stormgate fight and you plan on fighting for it at all, and if you, I mean, you've got a NyoriE's got a Shroud Highway here, but if you didn't, you know, build a tribute pyre there, pivot off of it. It makes fighting a lot easier. Get your Shroud that can't be killed very easily. And even if it does, you get such a short cooldown if you place the effigy on Shroud that even if they kill it, you just rebuild it. But if you do one on the ground, it's just awful. You gotta do it sometimes, but I mean, look how useful this is. Expecting the Kree run by. And some units up there we're going to flank too, but they ran into... So here comes some debilitates here going down on the Hellborn. That's definitely a nice target. Slowing down their attack speed and damage. Yep. They don't get that many attacks anyway, right? But that is a concave of Gaunts, and just easily pushes this whole army of, you know, tier 1 units back, just mass Gaunts like this. And Kree do a decent job, but once you reach this like critical mass with the Gaunts and their movement speed, you can just kite the Kree. As long as you have Shroud and just stutter step and kite, the Kree will not win. They'll kill a couple Gaunts, but all those Kree, like, I swear that could have just been moved into, and those Kree would have melted. Because once the Kree have come out of their rollout, they're pretty weak in that head-on fight. It's really their like initial burst that's strong. They feel pretty weak otherwise. There you go, using the Shroud. Pretty big battle here. Oh man, this is just hard to push back. You need like Carnivex or something. There we go, 4 Carnivex on the way. You just need some different tech here versus this army. But there's already 4 Hellborn here. So that is going to help versus the Carnivex. 4 Carnivex, 4 Hellborn. Yeah. I think it would be a cool fight. Not a huge blowout one way or the other, but I don't... It comes down to the positioning. Oh, the Hellborn getting their tier 3 upgrade. Very nice by NyoriE to get to that tech here. So that's when they get their Inferno shot. So their first shot is extra. I love the animation there. It is. It does a cone and it does a bleed. So it's just and I think it just does more damage in general, I'm not sure. But it's just incredible. You know, the unit becomes it turns itself into like 3 of itself all at once. Oh. That was a really nice engage by Kim, but seeing the gravity flux on the Hellborn is pretty sweet there, taking them out of the fight. There you go, a very nice engage there. I think there was just a little bit of frontline lacking for NyoriE there, and so Kim really taking advantage of that Carnivex tech switch, and then getting some nice lifts with the Cabal, the gravity flux. Oh, I missed this whole thing over here. So there was a run by happening, but NyoriE deciding against it, wasn't feeling very confident. Probably is expecting this very scenario here with this big Kree Carnivex flank. Let's see, these prisms though have been spotted. So I like that NyoriE had the army in 2 groups, but this is kind of what happens to me and a lot of people when they do armies in 2 groups, is it does feel like you get some damage done, but then the units get wiped, and it doesn't feel worth it for some reason. I think that's a big thing that I wish somehow could be a little different in Stormgate, but it is what it is. Because I like multi-prong, and I like harass, and I like multitasking. I think those are really fun things to watch and fun skills to, or fun styles to express your skill with. Okay, like here, I like that there's, action in more than one place, that's for sure. Okay, here come the Magmadon, which is a great counter to the, God, that's a lot of Magmadons. That's like 9 Magmadons. That's a great counter versus the Kree. Not that great versus Cabal. I'm not sure if they're actually that good versus Carnivex. Cabal will be able to lift them though, but I think there's too many Magmadons. Sorry about my cough, I just can't shake it. Alright, what do we got here? Okay, here, Kim decides to fight. Here come the Magmadons. We have a flank coming from Kim though, which I think is great. But then there's Magmadons over here. I think they all trampled though, which is giving Kim a chance. Now, I don't even know whose tornado this is. I lost track. I think it's NyoriE's, I'm not sure. I don't know. And then we've got, man, that was just, I'm surprised that was such a clean fight, end result from Kim. I don't know. I guess he had the tornado, but I don't know if that made a big difference. I think it was the flank. Let's see. I also wonder if there could have been more brutes there, but people have been really liking their Gaunt style. I'm just trying to think what would have made that army a little bit better, because I've been trying to play a little bit Infernal myself, and I felt that wasn't that bad of an engage, but obviously the flank went a long way. You kind of want the Hellborn to just be able to kind of do their thing, and if you get flanked, they start shooting in multiple directions. Kind of want that cone direction going forward. You get flanked, it's like half shoot the wrong way. It's not the same. Pretty even supplies here at 13 minutes into the game. Let's see. I mean, we saw the dragon, obviously. I'm wondering if there's more tech coming. So, Brute, Gaunt. Couple Spriggans that were like inside the dragon there. And Hellborn. Okay. Meanwhile, we've got Incarnate, lots of Incarnate, a couple Kree, lots of Scanners, and a couple Cabal. I like it. I definitely like it. Relatively easy to use because you just have the one spellcaster. The Scanners do things on their own. There's a lot of A move units here, and then you just make sure the Cabal do the right thing. Good debilitate, good liftoffs, or gravity flux. Okay, so now this time Kim is the one splitting up some units. NyoriE's over here with his whole army though, and Kim doesn't know that yet. So these Carnivex are probably going to die unless he runs away. Kim deciding to come over and engage. That is going to take a decent amount of damage, but not all the damage. Why is this running over here? Okay, so was one probably thinking, where is Kim's army? But now NyoriE's maybe setting up the flank that we saw Kim do earlier. Doesn't look like it. Seems like NyoriE's grouping the army together. We have an Archangel. More Archangel on the way. Okay, big Magmadon stomps. So this is more of a one-direction fight, and I think this is better for NyoriE than before. But a lot of this over here, not fighting with the support of the... Look at those Hellboy getting stuck as well. So again, I feel like half of NyoriE's army, unfortunately, just isn't able to be a part of the fight until halfway through. But look, at the same time, it doesn't seem to matter because this is just a shitload of Hellboy. And there's not really a great answer to the Hellboy here. You've got the 2 dragons and boom, being able to take that fight. So just, I think the biggest difference that I noticed is that time it was a single direction fight. And here, right, Kim had that sick, I think it was here, Kim had that sick flank, and there was no flank this time. So I think that was honestly the biggest difference between the 2 fights. Obviously there's the double dragon as well. And when you've got 2 dragons, you can do the spray and then heal, and you can do the spray and then heal, so you can actually tank a crap load of damage by just alternating the abilities when you've got 2 dragons like that. I also think that NyoriE just had a macro lead for most of that game. I mean, we see this, not like Kim was behind on macro too much, but I do favor what I see here from NyoriE. Alright, there's another game that they gave to me, so we're gonna move on to that one. See you in the next game. Alright, game 2 between Kim and NyoriE. We've got Kim in the top left of Stormwatch here, and we've got NyoriE in the bottom right. NyoriE with the win of last game as Infernal. Kim putting up a great fight. I actually thought Kim had it at one point, but I think NyoriE just had a little bit too much macro and a little bit higher tech army. There was some Archangel at the end, but there was almost as many Archangel as there were dragons, and that's never good if you're the one with the Archangels, because a dragon is much better than a single Archangel. If you have like 5 Archangels, you might be able to get on top of the dragons and take one down pretty quick, but 2 versus 2, not gonna go well for the Archangel. So NyoriE doing fast expand, also did that last game. Was able to get ahead and stay ahead, it felt like. Also going vault, and I think last time it was double vault with the Hellforge. Sticking with the double vault Hellforge, it seems. Over here we've got Kim doing a pretty similar opener as well. Okay. So last time there's something weird happened with the collection array. Maybe it was out of range and it was like my zoom that threw me off, but I want to see if it happens again. Because you got power there. Okay, I don't know. Maybe it was out of range last time. So I'm just checking here. I'm seeing 10, 2, and 2. That's a lot of gas early. 4 on gas. This must be a Kree rush. I'm going to guess this is a Kree rush. I'm expecting maybe a 3rd arc ship, but Guardian Nexus soon. I'm expecting both of them soon. If you're gonna do Kree, you typically don't get this Argent, but this could just be a safety Argent, if you will. But no 2nd Argent. Show me the Guardian Nexus. What's all this gas for? Maybe a quick tier 2. Maybe a quick tier 2. Where is it? There it is. Yep. Okay. So tier 2 on the way, and this is for early Carnivex, which I like. I like it. Meanwhile, NyoriE knows that Kim doesn't have a 3rd base, but doesn't really know what Kim is up to. It could be Kree. It could be Argent. Maybe there is a 3rd arc ship and just taking it slow. Could be Vector. I don't know if Kim does those styles too much, and I don't know if these two play against each other a lot, but I do believe these were custom games, so maybe they do. Surge going down on the creation chamber, baiting out a couple of the fiends there, trying to get a kill, but the fiends, NyoriE reacting fast enough, pulling the fiends away. What do we got? Hellforge and Ritual Chamber after 3rd has been down for a little bit off of a 2 vault 1 conclave. Okay. sure charge is on the menu soon. Got the gas. Come on, don't let me down. I know you want to.
Enemy forces have
Got fiends running away. 2 Argent shooting at this. Fiends going in the Void Heart Shrine. There you go. Got 2 Carniveks here. Is this a bait? This seems like a bait. Waiting for... Yeah, here it comes, and then the Carniveks are coming. Like a cat waiting. Oh boy, look how fast they are. Here come the cats. Oh, the Argent. Oh, the cats are a little late. The Argent. My lord, with 2 HP. So, I mean, it was a good bait. Didn't end up doing that much. All in all, I mean, I guess you baited out some units from the enemy, right? If you do something like that. But I don't think having those units is really setting NyoriE back. Probably needed to spend some charges anyway. Let's see. Okay. Using the copy for another Carniveks, I'd say not bad. Carniveks, you know, they are 275, so 200 Luminite, 75 Therium. They take a while to build. Not bad. You get a copy. You only get 1, but not a bad use of it at all. Kind of depends on what you do with it, I suppose. I'm liking all these Fiend run-bys. Reminds me of Zerg. Always, you know, make sure your opponent is getting their towers and playing a little defense and punishing them if they're being too greedy or too aggressive and not giving an eye on things like this. I like that. You know, these kind of... Oh, they do get on top of the Hellborn, though. Oh, boy. These Hellborn are dying. But they... Okay, another Hellborn spawns. But, man, these Carniveks are just on top of the Hellborn. That's kind of... That's the only time the Carniveks are able to win, right? If there's a buffer in front of the Hellborn, the Carniveks get shredded. But like this... and now there's a Carniveks left with no Hellborn. So now the lifesteal becomes a huge problem. I mean, losing those Hellborn was devastating. It does go down, another Hellborn did pop. See, look, the Hellborn itself, look at that. It takes like 4 or 5 shots to kill it. It's not bad. But you definitely want something to buffer in front of them. Interesting. So, forcing out the Hellborn, and then switching into Seraphim, and building a handful of them, it seems. So committing to them pretty decent. I was wondering if it was going to be like 5 Seraphim in the Animancer or something, right? Because I have seen players do that. That's pretty tricky. Because they force some reaction out of you, and then next thing you know, you've got Animancers. It's like, geez, I finally have enough to deal with the Seraphim, and now it's Animancer. But we are seeing those 3 Seraphim. Here comes the Ascension Matrix. So for now, it's probably just going to be more Seraphim. Because it's not like Animancers are on the menu yet. There we go. 3 more Seraphim. Very cool. I do think they have a niche, you know, role. They can be annoying. I mean, it's kind of funny, right? We've got Mutas, which are like Spriggans, right? But then we also have Seraphim, which are kind of like the Spriggans of Celestial. But they're definitely a bit more like... How do I say this? Spriggans feel more like a harass unit. Or, sorry. Seraphim feel more like a harass unit. But you don't want to fight head on. Like, if Spriggans run at these, you know, you want to get your Seraphim out of there. So they're definitely like... They're like this poke kite type unit. I don't know. I feel like they're very similar to Spriggans in a lot of ways, is what I'm trying to say. But also a little different. Shadow Flyers, I was expecting that. Probably would have been, I don't know if there's not energy available, but using the Hellspawn Resurgence for a few more Shadow Flyers there, I think would have been very good, because I think they were pretty clumped up. Over here we've got the Kree taking the Stormgate. He's got to be out. No, he's got Hellspawn. Oh, he was in the middle of upgrading it, and so, oh no, this one has Hellspawn Resurgence. I don't know. Maybe he... I don't know. I would expect some more Shadow Flyers there. God. Doesn't have much gas. I wasn't looking closely at the gas. Maybe just didn't have any gas available because they're 75 per pair. Look at those stupid gaunts. Okay, nice job, NyoriE there, sitting there, making sure these are trapped. Now getting some Shadow Flies or something would kill them, but you can't reach them unless you do. Over here we got the Vile Lurker, which is the siege unit, right? The siege loot for tier 2. NyoriE continuing to expand despite dealing with this pressure. Very nicely done. It's always like, can you keep macroing under pressure? So that's the 4th base. We've got, no, 5th base. Okay, these guys are still trying to get out. Oh, there's an opening here. Goes into pokes a little bit more. How annoying. This is exactly what happens to me, and it's so annoying. Let's see. Okay, Curse killing him, and a Fiend spawning in Oblivion, and then immediately getting shot by the Seraphim out of Oblivion. Oh man. Really wish there was some Shadow Flyers that would just come kill these. I just need these to die. Look at all these towers though. No problem. Okay, we've got 5 Seraphim here. Down to, okay, so that's gonna take them out. I love these towers, they're so strong. I like when players use them. I think they're underrated. I know they're expensive, and I know it costs a worker, but my god, they can hold so much by themselves. And they got it all. Anti-air, anti-ground, range, good versus light, good versus heavy. They're just not good versus large volumes of units. But as long as you got a buffer in front of them. They're like a locked in place Hellborn. They're pretty much a locked in place Hellborn with AA. Alright. What do we got over here? Man, the camera keeps zooming out when I go over high spots, and then I have to zoom it back in. Kind of annoying. Alright. Getting the 2nd Guardian Nexus. Tier 3 must be on the way. Already has it. Okay. So what do we got? Brute, Gaunt, Hellborn. I see the tier 3 Molten Touch or Infernal, whatever it's called these days. Supplies are heavily in Kim's favor by 100. Trying to figure out, is that just stemming from those early game trades? Okay, players being a little passive here, probably just, I mean, I see NyoriE getting, Kim getting a whole bunch of upgrades. So it makes sense that Kim is like, whatever, I'm just going to wait till these upgrades are done before I fight. The Carnivex upgrade just finished, which really helped. So we've got the Hellborn at tier 3 upgrade, and we've got the Carnivex at tier 3 upgrade. Seraphim's dancing around over here. Poking a little, but man, that is a lot of them on low health. And with Curse on them, I wonder if any of these go down to... Boom, that one did. These will survive. And probably go heal up at the Void Heart Shrine. We've got a couple Carnivex here. Where's the rest of the army? All here. That's 3 Archangels. Do I see? And I see Animancers. Alright. So Animancers are definitely a correct unit, right? If you can get them in position and land those Dark Prophecies. Pretty much always good with every comp, but man, they are slow, and sometimes they are kind of frustrating to use because you're trying to cast a spell, but they're out of range. But here we go. Alright. Smash right in the middle of all those Hellborn, so just kind of gets obliterated by him after letting them. Does get in there, let's see. Using the Animus redistribution on the dragon, that's cool. The dragon deciding to back off, but I think that with the Carnivex probably makes the Carnivex pretty dang hard to kill, right? Because you're giving them health back while they've got their deferred damage. The Carnivex in here doing their thing. Okay, so the Animancer is able to zone with some really nice Dark Prophecies. Now backing up the Carnivex to keep them with the army on the left. I'm looking around the map. Okay, we do have a little bit going on here. A couple Kree running by there, so very nice. And just trying to do some damage here, but that seems to be getting deflected by those gaunts. Back to the big battle here. Now we'll zoom out. Looking like Kim is saying, alright, I'm doing damage here. I'll just back off the army, right? I say this in a lot of my videos. Fight where you're strong and where your opponent is weak. Why fight head on into this if you're having a favorable fight here? Meanwhile, very nice hold with a pack of gaunts here by NyoriE. Despite all that action, 3 battles, and NyoriE won this one, lost this one, and it was a tie on this one. So pretty cool. I like that. Let's take a look. That's 4 Twilight Spires. Something like 4 and 4 conclaves, give or take. Alright. NyoriE boldly going for this Stormgate. If you do get it, then you can get the Empower and maybe, sky dashing in there. Let's see. And that makes them go Avatar mode. The dragons do decide to back up. But if NyoriE was able to get that, he gets like 2 Empower Stones and use that on the 2 dragons. Whew, that could have definitely, made the game really hard for Kim to win, despite having a supply lead. Okay, Animance is getting a pretty decent Dark Prophecy off and pushing the infernal units back. Killing the effigy. Oh, probably thought that was fiends. Look at all those working. Maybe not. It was just like, hey, I'm going to cook those working. Damn. That was actually really sick. And okay, now we've got Navi in the picture. So what would be really nice is, yep, some Archangels, Radiant Mantle on them, and then just go in. Oh, we've got an Incarnate and a Deep one. Now this is getting interesting. Alright, 2 dragons Incarnate. Brute gone. Oh, look at all these Hellboys not in the fight. Over here, huge Dark Prophecy going off on both sides. We got the Navi floating in the back. We've got the Archangels in the sky going for the dragons for now. Incarnate pumping some shots at it, but getting dove on by the Archangels. Meanwhile, NyoriE on the left pushing through. NyoriE on the right pushing through, it seems. The Incarnate does go down. The 2 dragons also went down. And now we have about even supplies. There's just a whole bunch of Navi here that's not going to do much on their own. And we've got Brute gone and Hellborn coming. And man, this, I don't know how in the world Kim recovers from this, but maybe there's a way. I just don't see. Okay, here comes some Carnivex, but that can't be enough. There's plenty of Hellborn here. I think this has got to be GG, no? Yeah, the Navi getting shot. Carnivex, I mean, it's just not enough. It's just 3. Even with Radiant Mantle, it's just not enough. There's plenty of DPS to get through it. I'm pretty sure we're about to see a GG here. Another Archangel and a Saber. Okay. I mean, it's the right idea, but I don't see it being enough. But maybe. Look at this, diving in there. Do we have a Radiant Mantle for it? Hit it, and he got a Radiant Mantle on it. It is still alive, but it does go down. Another pack of Archangels show up. We have Radiant Mantle again, and the Saber. So this is going to clean this up, because Archangel and Radiant Mantle together is good, and these Sabers have gone unchallenged, and Sabers are fantastic versus Hellborn. So he is able to push this back somehow and regain the lead. I bet that caught NyoriE off guard. It caught me off guard. Well played. Look at that combo, though, you guys. The Archangel Navi is just... I mean, who needs Sovereign's Decree when you can get a Radiant Mantle your Archangels, right? So we have the Incarnate here. Let's see. Will there be some cool Spore Shot from... See some Spriggans. I don't know about that. Spriggans get obliterated by Archangels if they Sky Dash on them, but there's not that many Archangels either. I don't know. That's kind of cool. I don't know how to feel. Oh boy. There's the Empower. Look at that. Maximum of 2,075 HP. That's insane. Almost as insane as those wires and the horns for like sticking in them from this thing. We got the 2 Archangels going back here, probably to snag some energy. Yeah, there's another node here for some energy. just getting juiced up for the fight. And we've got these Navi at full energy. We've got a good number of Carnivex. I see 6. We see, I think, 2 Archangels, 4 Sabers. So a nice squad here. And speaking of nice squad, we've got some Weavers in the picture reacting to the Sabers. We've got the Incarnate crawling its way over. My god, that thing is slow. It needs to be. If it was fast, it'd be stupid. But yeah, I do enjoy the big stomp. Okay, let's see some kind of something. Come on, there it is. Okay, there we go. Boom, 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 boom. That should shred those Seraphim. We do see, look, the Radiant Mantle, and to soak in all that damage. We've got a Hollow Ground going down now too. Oh my lord, this is like a never-dying army here. And yeah, the Carnivex are not gonna die here. The Archangel with the Radiant Mantle has soaked up damage for like 90% of that fight. And so now NyoriE's the one that I'm like, how is NyoriE gonna get himself out of this? You know, he lost his whole army, lost his Incarnate, which takes forever to build, and it's super expensive. He's low on resources. There's another Incarnate, gets the second Power Stone. Let's go. Let's see the reverse comeback here. I don't see enough Weavers. I don't see enough Hellborn. The math just isn't there. So just a very resilient, never-dying comp from Kiim. This is pretty sweet to see. I have seen it before, but seeing it in good efficacy like this is pretty sweet. I love that little, like, the little comeback that happened. It looked like it was GG over here, and then a Saber came out. And I said it's the right idea, but I don't think it's enough. Well, I was wrong. I was wrong. It was enough. I just live and learn. He tied it together. He did have full energy on the Navi when in the earlier fight that I'm referencing, and I think that definitely helped having that Radiant Mantle on them. Huge stomping all those Carnivex, but it's just not enough. There's simply not enough Hellborn to deal with this, and you would need a large air army or just a significant larger army, and clearly it's the other way around. So GG, well played. Fun 2 little game series. Thanks for sharing it, guys. Please send me some more games, everybody. I'm on vacation in like 3 days, and if I can build up some videos, I can spread them out to be released during those 2 weeks that I'm gone. Otherwise, it's going to be a bit of a drought from casts from me, but it's not that bad because we do have a couple tournaments over the next few weekends. So check out those tournaments. There's going to be lots of videos from that. Anyway, sign up if you're interested in playing. Go on Discord. You can find all the information there. Hit like, hit subscribe. I'll see y'all later. Bye-bye.